I'm Lana Kay. It's great to be with all of you again. And if you are interested in optimal health, this show is for you. Please welcome our guest, Matt Johnson, to the show. Be with you again, Matt.
Thank you for having me again.
Well, Matt was on a previous show, and on that show, he targeted dealing with pain. He talked a little bit about bone broth, some other supplements, and yes, I received your emails, and today we are responding. Many of you wanted to know what would Matt suggest for us to take every day, and he has come up with 5 favorites, and if you missed the first show, which was a shame, tell us a little bit about Healthy Alternative, Matt, of which he is the manager.
Correct. Healthy Alternative is a wonderful health food store in Florence here, 7570 Burlington Pike in Florence, basically a quarter-mile east of exit 181, which is the Burlington Pike exit in Florence. Been that location since 2007. Owner of the store lives in Dayton. His name's Tony Haas, and he has 2 stores up there, and then our store here in Florence. Been in business in Florence actually since '96, I believe. Used to be on basically moved to Burlington Pike, and now we're obviously a little bit bigger, and we like our location. So come check us out. It's really easy to get to. Wonderful store, full-fledged health food store. So lots of groceries, lots of supplements, lots of health and beauty items, produce, frozen items, so on and so forth. So full-fledged.
It is, yeah. And Matt has a wealth of information regarding supplements and everything they offer there. And since I'm in and out a lot, I always marvel. I'll hear him talking to other customers, and right off the top of his head, he just has a wealth of information. You may not be able to tell it, but he does. And so why is that, Matt? There's a reason for that.
There is a reason for that. Grew up in the industry for sure. My aunt owns a health food store in Cincinnati. My mother's the manager of that store, and I grew up as a kid in that store and just was very, very into it. You know, I was an athlete growing up, so I always tried to take care of myself and eat clean and all those kinds of things. So it just came natural to me, and just something I'm passionate about it. And being proactive with your health, which is kind of what we're going to get into here, is something that I think a lot of people really need to concentrate on, and we preach that in our store every day. You know, you need to really be proactive rather than reactive. Don't wait till something's bothering you. You know, get ahead of those types of things. I joke with some of my friends even. I say, you're going to come see me now or you're going to come see me later. You might as well come see me now while you're feeling good rather than wait until you're feeling, you know, under the weather or cranky knees or whatever.
Yes,
exactly. Some kind of ailment, and then you have to try to fix it then. So be proactive, and the key to being proactive is getting a good foundation, not only through your diet, but from supplementation as well, and that's kind of where we hit on. So.
Oh, yes. So, Matt, let's go right into, because I know you want to talk a length about why you love these 5 supplements.
Sure.
And so wherever you want to start.
Excuse me.
And not necessarily the first one won't
Sure.
be the most important. You think it's a sort of a synergistic.
Absolutely, combination. And just recently, we've been trying to do a little bit more seminars and stuff in our store, and we're getting more into that. So look for those as you come in. You'll have some sign-up sheets and things like that. But the previous seminar, the last seminar we held, was kind of my five favorite supplements and why they are what they are. You know, it's easy to say, you know, you should take a multivitamin, but when you come into our store, it can be a little bit overwhelming because there's lots to choose from. And so my job a lot of times is showing why one multivitamin may be better than the other. And so obviously a multivitamin is something that everybody should take. It's just kind of bare nutrition, kind of making sure that you get those vitamins and minerals that you may not get from a good diet, not even a good diet, but a bad diet. And then even if you are eating a good diet, some of our soil and the nutrition may not even be as complete as you think you're getting. So that is a bare bones type of thing. You need to take at least a multivitamin. Now, I go steps further in here, and I talk about, you know, taking a fish oil supplement. I think is very important. A probiotic supplement is very important. I'm a big believer in calcium and magnesium for women, and I always kind of highlight that magnesium content. That's your master mineral. And then personally, one of my extra things is a greens drink. I'm really into alfalfa and wheatgrass and barley grass and chlorella and spirulina and all those kind of nutrient-dense greens foods that we sometimes skip over that would be very important from a trace mineral or a B vitamin or a detoxifying standpoint. So a lot of times, again, you know, it's easy to kind of say, well, you should take these things. A lot of times in our store, it's our job to illustrate why this one may be better than the other one. So that's kind of where we go. One of the things that you know, in our last seminar, a lot of times I had a little table set up with all the supplements that I take, and one of the first questions that I got or received from the crowd there was that they were very interested why I didn't have a vitamin D supplement on the table. Well, and there was not a vitamin D supplement on the table, but I think vitamin D is extremely important. And what I had to illustrate to people is when I was showing the different supplements that I do like, 3 of the supplements that I take each had 1,000 units of vitamin D in them. And so on a total daily basis, just from the supplementation that I take, I get 3,000 units of vitamin D, which is a super important vitamin for a multitude of reasons. And so why I did it the way I did it is because I wanted to show people that if you take really good supplements in the beginning, you don't have to take all the extra things that you say, oh, well, I read about this and I read about this. You may already be taking that because you've got a really good multivitamin and you have a really good you know, green supplement or what have you. So you've seen that in the store, and you've seen that you know, through our conversations where, you know, our job is to differentiate what is better or why this one is this and what have you. So I think it's important, but I think that first step there is a good multivitamin. Yeah.
And I think, you know, and I have heard Matt talking with other customers and myself, we read so much about health in these magazines, and then I'll come in and say, you know, we know each other pretty well, and I'll say, give me the lowdown on this. And Matt will say, Lana, he calls me Lana, Lana, it's all the same. And he'll say, Lana, that would be okay, but let me tell you something better.
Correct.
Or he will say, I don't like that at all, because what I'm proposing is this, and then he'll tell me why. So whatever your problem is or whatever you're suffering from, if you, before you go buy it, you know, come and talk with him. And he may say, you're exactly right on path.
Sure.
That too.
Absolutely.
But he will tell you, because what I love about Healthy Alternative, there's no pressure about buying. I mean, he is fine on, you know, I'll come in and say, yeah, let me talk it over. I'm not buying anything, but I want to get your take on this, and he gives me his take on it. Right. So it's a wonderful store. We're lucky to have it in Florence. So, Matt, okay, multiple is because that covers so much, is probably at the top.
Correct.
So tell me why can't our diet give us probiotics? And I know so many times it doesn't.
It doesn't, and that's why in my 5 supplements I always talk about probiotics. I think that is extremely underrated. People walk in the store and they've been on an antibiotic, or they're dealing with some digestion upset or what have you, and they say, oh, I need to be on a probiotic, or they saw a commercial or what have you nowadays. And I think that's great, and that leads people to the right path. And but the problem is sometimes is they'll take it for a short term and then maybe not continue on. My thing is, again, a probiotic is something you should take very much like a multiple vitamin all the time. The way I word it to people is, if you think about it, a couple hundred years ago, we didn't have refrigerators, so we ate fermented food all the time. And that doesn't really happen on a day-to-day basis like it should for the majority of people. And so you can get good bacteria from your diet if you're eating fermented food in abundance, the kimchis and the sauerkrauts and you know, the yogurts and the kefirs and all those kinds of things. But you need to continuously do that, and you need to do it throughout the day, and you need to make sure that you're getting good organic sources and low in sugar, and, you know, if you're going to buy yogurt, buy plain yogurt and those kinds of things to get that. But again, again, to do that on a continuous everyday basis is difficult. So you use a supplement. You know, that's why they are called supplements.
Can we overdo it?
Not really with bacteria. Good bacteria you can't get too much of. And I will tell you that I think that the curve or the science behind bacteria and good bacteria is just going to get more and more and more popular as more research is done with certain strands of bacteria for certain illnesses or uses or what have you. So, I mean, there are certain bacteria for your mouth particularly, you know, for babies with thrush or even, you know, adults. Or there are certain bacteria that help mood or urinary tract health or even skin.
Wow.
So as the research gets more in depth and the science behind it gets even more more confirmed, you're going to see more and more different bacteria in different categories in my store or even on kind of a regular shelf in any kind of store. So good bacteria, you should, you know, I try to eat sauerkraut at least every day and all these kind of fermented foods, but you need to make sure that you're getting it every day, and sometimes trying to get it from a supplement or getting it from a supplement is a little bit easier way to do it. To make sure. And again, you're trying to supplement what you don't get from your diet. That's the, you know, that's why they're called dietary supplements. And so that is crucial. And I think that if you do these things, it really kind of cuts off a lot of the issues that people deal with every day, you know, the common cold or flu season and all those kinds of things. Your immune system originates in your gut. So keeping that intestinal flora at a high level is going to give you optimal. That's obviously what we're about. So,
oh yes, that's so important.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, talk to us about, we've talked now magnesium.
Yes.
I was very surprised about this being one of your top 5. And so let's go into a little more in depth about why it is.
Sure. Well, magnesium, I would classify it as your master mineral. Okay, so it is a wonderful, wonderful mineral that is so important in almost every action in your body that is happening all day, and so that's why I consider it one of the foremost things. You know, in my 5 supplements, I mentioned calcium and magnesium specifically for ladies, obviously for the bone density and all those kinds of things. But you could take all the calcium in the world, and if your magnesium level isn't high, it's not going to get into the bone and transport those other minerals around your body. I jokingly call it the bus driver for all your other minerals.
Wow.
It is that really, you know, along with the vitamin D content, obviously, it is really important in that formation of bone and to keep that bone density strong and what have you. You personally have had some, you know, some bone issues with that and had some, and you know, you don't just go to the supermarket and buy calcium carbonate. You come to us and you get, you know, a really nice form of calcium that is going to be immediately recognized as bone. Exactly. It's not going to be something that's going to be floating around your blood. But magnesium goes way beyond just bone density. It is wonderful for stress, wonderful for sleep. It is one of the most important things to keep your bowels regular. It pours moisture into your bowels. So a lot of people that deal with chronic constipation, which is something that we deal with frequently, especially with people that are on pharmaceuticals and what have you, that's one of the things that happens is your magnesium and your other mineral content is dropped because of some of those interactions, and it causes that backed up feeling, I guess you want to call it, and so that's important. But even just a simple muscle contraction. Olympic athletes take magnesium in abundance for cramping, so a lot of people deal with restless legs and leg cramping, and that again is a magnesium deficiency, or a sign of, I should say. ADD, ADHD children and adults.
Help them relax.
Absolutely, and hydration for your brain. People that deal with migraines consistently or headaches, that's usually a magnesium deficiency. So magnesium is something that you know, my staff kind of, you're always recommending magnesium, especially the new people that start there, and I go, because it's good for everything, and it really is, and it's your master mineral, and it's inexpensive, and especially if you get a good form of it, it really can be a life-changing thing. So magnesium's a big one. Yeah,
so that is so important.
Of course.
Okay, Bill, or Matt, our omega-3 fish oil.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. One of my favorites as well. You know, I sometimes tell people.
I know, because I'll say, how about some flax?
Yeah.
You say, that's okay, but overall.
Overall, I think fish oil is one of the best things that you can do. You know, the root of almost all disease is inflammation. You know, a lot of people hear the word inflammation and they automatically, you know, think pain and all those kinds of things. You know, inflammation manifests itself in your body in a lot of different ways, whether it be cholesterol or diabetes or have you, and pain, of course, as well. And a lot of the inflammation that we deal with that we shouldn't necessarily deal with, we didn't sprain our ankle, we didn't get in a car accident, we just have these aches and pains, or we do develop some kind of you know, issue with cholesterol, blood sugar, whatever, is derived or happens because your omega-6s that are anti-inflammatory or that are pro-inflammatory are out of balance with your omega-3s. And so unless you're eating fish in abundance, which sometimes with, you know, farm fish and some of obviously the oceans with the high mercury issues, it's difficult to do that. So if you buy a really good quality fish oil supplement, I think that it is one of the best things for just again a proactive standpoint from a health perspective. The EPA and DHA level is extremely important. Those are the two omega-3s that are very, very important for that health. DHA is the most essential fatty acid in your as well as your eyes. So for people with eye issues, it is one of those things that you need to be taken. And so what, again, you know, splitting hairs in our store, showing differences, I always tell people to focus on those EPA and DHA levels per serving, and make sure that you get a good, clean fish oil that's been tested for the PCBs and the mercury and all those kinds of things. And again, that's kind of what we do in our stores, kind of highlight some of those things that are on the back panel of the supplements, not just look at what it says on the front. You want to really kind of spin that bottle and look at the dosage you're getting per pill, and I think that's one of the best things that you can do. Yeah.
Okay, Matt, now we're down to our green drink, and this is very important, and this is one of them that I will do every day.
It is.
I can miss up on some of the others,
sure,
but this I want to take every day, and tell us why.
Sure, and I kind of touched on that in the beginning a little bit, but I think it's a wonderful thing for you that you've been doing, and I think that you've experienced a few benefits from it. Yeah, whether it's how you feel or any of those things. And again, because of our, you know, our nutrition, a lot of times we're not getting the vitamins and minerals that we think we're getting. So as we touched on it with the multivitamin, on the back end of this, which I call it my kicker, the greens drinks are really, really important to make sure that we're getting that power punch of nutrition on a daily basis. Also very, very detoxifying. You know, the chlorophyll content that, you know, gives plants its green color is very detoxifying for your body. And so getting that in a daily basis is wonderful. You've experienced the benefits of that. I have, from an energy standpoint, or from a cleansing on a daily level standpoint. It just makes you feel, I guess, recharged would be kind of the word to do. So for a breakfast drink, or if you wanted to throw it into a smoothie with protein powder or something else, I think it would be a wonderful thing to, again, kind of get those basics. And when I talk about these 5 supplements, it doesn't mean that you don't have to take anything else ever, you know, or that you wouldn't want to take some turmeric, as we talked about before.
And then along with your other issues,
of course,
these are his baseline.
These things really kind of, you know, a lot of times we get people to come in the store and they want something for energy. Well, if you know, start with and my first question was, are you taking a multivitamin? Because people kind of, well, you know, I have, of course, we have guarana and rhodiola and cordyceps and all these different things that you could take for energy, but I say that you need to start with the basics, and that's kind of where we walk you to. You know, you need to take a multivitamin, you need to do a greens drink, you need to do some magnesium. Those basics that are going to help you in all facets of your health are also going to be very energizing as well. So again, if you start with this foundation, I think that's where you're going to get your most benefit, and then you can piggyback off to that. And if you got a creaky knee, or if you want to take some turmeric, or if you want to do, you know, something else, if you're dealing with some diabetes or high cholesterol, we've got some other things that we can help to kind of add to this already, you know, cake, cake batter. We can put some icing on top of that, and that's where I always kind of phrase it for people.
Well, Matt, we're almost out of time, and I'm if there's anything that you would like to add before we go.
Well, I just want to tell you I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to talk. I did it the first time. I was very nervous. I think I did a little better this time, and I appreciate people that were watching it, tuning in, and saying that they wanted to have me back. So I appreciate it. I think you come from a genuine place wanting to help people as well, and our store helping you is showing you,
It's
hey,
helped me so much.
exactly, and that's what our, the motto, literally the motto of our store is helping people feel better, and that's what we're all about. As you mentioned, we don't work on commission, so it is low pressure. Come in, check us out, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised and happy with your service. So.
And I know you will be.
Well,
You've been listening to Matt Johnson. His contact information will follow. And if you're having health issues or just want to check out this amazing store, go and visit Matt. It's right on Burlington Pike in Florence. We are so lucky to have Healthy Alternative right here in Florence. So
Great.
I hope you learned a lot today. And do all you can to stay healthy, because health is wealth.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing
more valuable.
And this is what he always tells me. There's nothing more valuable, and it is so true. The older you get, the more you'll understand that. So, as always, you be happy and keep smiling, and I'll see you soon.